Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion. Your host, the Hut, and of course we're back here at the Baseball Hut. I'm going to talk about the Tampa Bay Rays, and this is the Baseball Hut 2. And I hope that you subscribe and like this video. As you know, the Rays have had one of the best seasons in the history of forever. I don't know how they're doing it, folks, with all these spare part players that were terrible players. But for some reason, they're able to do it. I don't know how they're doing it. But they have a bit of an issue down there in Tampa Bay. One of which is their ballpark. Well, it's not really a ballpark. It's just a mausoleum. It's a mess down there in terms of the ballpark. Does anybody care about what the Rays do? Just a question. But I have an interesting story to tell you. There's star young shortstop. Not really a star yet. He's not made any all-star teams. You know, he hasn't played a full season. But they didn't have a problem giving him like a 40-year contract a few years ago. Headline, FoxNews.com. Rays Wander Franco returns to lineup after 2-game benching for not being the best teammate. Uh-oh. Now, in this game today against the Kansas City Royals, he went 2 for 4. He had a home run. Franco will bat second against the Kansas City Royals. Okay. Let's get into this. After sitting out back-to-back games against the Kansas City Royals, Tampa Bay Rays shortstop Wander Franco is in the lineup for Saturday's third game of a 4-game series. Franco was benched Thursday and Friday for how he has handled frustrations this season. He will bat second Saturday against Kansas City starting pitcher Jordan Lyles. Quote, "It's been hard, really hard not being with team." That's how he said it. Franco said through a translator, "I'm happy to be back. It's been difficult," end quote. Our Rays manager Kevin Cash declined to get into specifics on what led to Franco's benching. Multiple instances this season involving Franco are believed to have led to it. Easy for me to say. Franco's had base running lapses. That means he's not running hard. Failed to run out ground balls at times. Oh boy. And shattered his bat after an at-bat Wednesday, according to the Associated Press. Well, that's not good. He's a jerk. The young shortstop also had a verbal altercation in the dugout with teammate Randy Arozarena in May, according to the Tampa Bay Times. Quote, "I think they're doing a good job in the way they've controlled the situation," Franco said. "I've been with this organization a long time." He's 22 years old. "And I think they've controlled the situation well with the errors that I've made." Cash told reporters Thursday the organization will work with Franco. They have no choice. He signed a 14-year contract. Wander's a really good kid, really good person. He's a young player that is learning and dealing with the challenges of being a major league player and some of the frustrations that come with it. He continues. "Over the course of this season, there's been probably multiple times that the way he has handled his frustrations have not been the way that we ask our players to uphold being the best teammate," end quote. Holy shit. Franco signed an 11-year, $182 million guaranteed contract in November of 2021. So as I was saying, Franco signed this long-term deal, and he's only 22 years old. They've not allowed him with this contract to let him mature as a player. He's been injured multiple times. He apparently is very immature. This is why you got to be careful signing these guys to these long-term deals. This is the second big shortstop, quote unquote, that signed a long-term deal and it's come to burn a team. The other player is Fernando Tatis Jr. The Padres signed him to a big deal, and he's been hurt a lot. And obviously he really hurt them badly last year when he got suspended for PED use. But this is why you let these players play. You let them play and then see how they handle things. And there's no I don't understand something, folks. This is Tampa. Okay, this is Tampa. I didn't hear about this until I watched the Met game on Saturday afternoon that this had happened. So this tells you how nobody cares about the Tampa Bay Rays except for the 10 fans that root for them down there. And they're all transplanted Met and Yankee fans anyway down there, to be honest with you. I'm sure there's some people that are Rays fans, But does anybody care? I didn't hear about this story. I don't remember seeing any YouTuber talking about it that I follow. But this tells you how the Rays, nobody cares about the Rays. Somebody wrote to me on the other channel complaining that the Mets have been a disaster for 30 years. Why can't they be more like the Rays? The Rays have never won anything. Nobody cares about the Rays. Nobody cares about the Tampa Bay Rays. You know, that's why no one talked about this. Because nobody... Well, I'm going to post this video. See how it does. But nobody cares. Nobody cares about the Tampa Bay Rays. Did anybody care when they were the Devil Rays? No. And they changed the name to the Rays? No. Did they care when they changed their uniforms 50 times? No. Did anybody care when they went to the World Series in 2008, 2009, 2008? No. Nobody cared. Lost to the Phillies? Nobody cared. All anybody remembers that the Phillies won. Nobody cares who they played and what they played. And I would mention this about the Braves. When they know that Wander Franco is done as a player, they will move him before everybody else knows about it. And if they come and knocking on the door, if they want to move a player, if you're that team, run. Because I cannot think of one player, maybe Willie Adames. I cannot think of one player in the last 20 years that they've moved became something of note. So if the Rays come knocking on your door and you're a team, hang up the phone. If it's Wander Franco, that's not a bad contract over 11 years in terms of the money. If the Rays come knocking on the door and say we want to trade Wander Franco, would you be interested? Hang up on them. They're sneaky, and you don't deal with sneaks. And that's the bottom line. And again, this is a team that they've sort of thrown all these cast-offs, and somehow all these cast-offs are hitting home runs and breaking records like crazy, home run records and going crazy down there. It's a little shaky. But again, like I said, nobody cares about the Tampa Bay Rays. As simple as that. And nobody cares about this Wander Franco thing. People would care if he was here in New York. That's why I thought this was interesting to talk about, because the perspective is so totally different. If this happened in New York, either the Mets or the Yankees, I would be doing videos like this like crazy. But nobody cares. And that tells you everything you need to know about the Rays and Tampa Bay. Nobody cares. Thank you for watching this. Hopefully you care enough to subscribe to the Baseball Hut 2. Thanks for watching. Have a good day, and I'll see you later.